Hey everyone, it's me, Zen. I just hit roughly 40 hours on Battlefield 6 in just a few days. That's way more than I normally play a new video game. So clearly I've been enjoying my time with it, and I wanted to give my honest thoughts on it. This is a somewhat unique perspective because I am not someone who normally plays tons of first-person shooters. This is the first one I've played in a while. So I used to play a lot of Rainbow Six, but even then my experience with that is pretty limited. I only had about like 250 hours in it. And I stopped playing it shortly after the beta for Battlefield 6 came out, and I was really bad at it. I never really played Call of Duty. The last Call of Duty game I played was the original Modern Warfare 3 back in like 2013. I mean, it came out I think 2011, but I played it 2013, 2014, around that time, and I really enjoyed it. I mostly played the campaign, though. I was really bad at multiplayer, bad with a controller around that age. Um, so I bring all this up because my first-person shooter experience is extremely limited compared to most people. Um, and you'll see that in this gameplay that I am not very good at first-person shooters. But I think that means that I have a relatively unique perspective on this game. I'm not necessarily like, a battle dad where, I'm screaming at the clouds and begging for everything to be nerfed. And so I think I'm not, I don't want to say blinded, but I think some people who are really into these kinds of games, they play lots of Call of Duty or even lots of Battlefield. Why did it spawn me there? I just gotta ask. They tend to be a little bit blinded. I don't want to say that because that's a little bit inconsiderate, but I think you can understand my meaning. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, actually, is the maps, because I think that's where I have the most issues. Everything else, I don't really want to bring up because it's like patchable issues, so it's not really going to apply in the long run unless they just don't fix it. So let me first talk about a couple of the maps in this game. I'm going to start with my least favorites, and there is going to be a hot take in there that might anger some Battlefield veterans. But it's just how I feel. I'm not saying things are objectively bad or objectively better. I'm just saying my experience as someone who is new to the franchise. Also, speaking of, the only Battlefield game I've ever played, besides recently playing a little bit of 2042, which was absolutely awful, by the way. I played, I don't remember which one it was. It was either BF3 or BF4, but it was only the multiplayer demo that was live on Xbox, on the Xbox 360. And I only played it a little bit, so I have very, very limited experience in Battlefield. So keep that in mind when I am talking about these maps. So my least favorite map in the game, this is not a hot take, I've heard a lot about this. Least favorite map is New Sobek City. That map is absolutely awful. I can't think of any redeeming qualities it has, or at least anything that I have enjoyed about it. The visibility is very bad. The design is extremely boring. It's just a few ruined buildings in a desert. There's nothing interesting about it. There's no interesting terrain. It's just a flat desert with a couple buildings. And like I said, the visibility is really bad because when you're in a building, you cannot see shit outside. Overall, nothing really remarkable about it. It's very chaotic. There's no, like, sense of where the front line is. Second least favorite map. This is where the hot take is. Operation Firestorm. Now, I know the Battlefield people are probably going to want to crucify me for this. I'm not saying Operation Firestorm is objectively bad. I'm just saying my enjoyment of it is very hindered for a few reasons. First of all, Operation Firestorm is a very vehicle-heavy map, which isn't a problem. It's just that I'm not a vehicle player, at least not right now, in the early days of this game. I like to play infantry, and when you play as infantry on Operation Firestorm, the basic experience is just run around until you get sniped in the head. At least for me, especially because I haven't been around since that map has been in the other games. Like, I haven't played it on BF3 or 4 or whatever it was in. So I don't understand the layout very well. There's nowhere to find cover. And also, I have heard about this. I have heard other people complain about this. The visibility issues in Operation Firestorm are extreme. Now, like I said, the gameplay that you're seeing here is not going to be good. I am talking while playing. which is not a good combination for me, so I'm probably not going to get, like, any kills. I have 2 at least, I'll take it. Oh, hi there. Anyway, so yeah, the visibility on Operation Firestorm is a legitimate major issue. If you are inside of a building, looking outside, it is like a constant flashbang. I'll try to put up some gameplay right now to show you what I mean. It is extremely bad. Now, I understand that it's somewhat realistic. Like, if you're in a dark building, in a desert, and you're looking outside, you probably won't be able to see much. But at the same time, this is a video game. I would like to have a little bit more visibility. Like, I understand why it might be there, and that's fine, but maybe just tone it down a little bit. It is impossible to see anything. Oh my god, I am awful. Third least favorite map. This one is changing a little bit. It's actually the map I'm on right now, Mirak Valley. So the thing about Mirak Valley, on Conquest and most of the game modes, I really do not enjoy it. Ooh, we could do some... We're definitely about to die. Okay. I should not have gotten this helicopter. I do not like this map on most of the game modes. It is really just flat terrain with one building in the middle, which makes this a sniper haven. And you'll find this out about me very quickly. I cannot stand snipers. I don't like playing as a sniper, and I don't like playing against snipers. I just find it to be a very, not fun playstyle on either end, playing it or being on the receiving end. And because this map is so sniper heavy, my enjoyment of it is very limited. Now, I will say, on Breakthrough, Mirak Valley fucking slaps. Like, the first time I had a Breakthrough game on Mirak Valley, it's some of the most fun I've ever had in this game. Because on Breakthrough, like, in the beginning, especially if you're attacking, you got all, like, the trenches. It feels like you're, like, right back in fucking World War II. We got some trench warfare. It's very, like, close quarters. I understand some people don't like close quarters gameplay. I found it really enjoyable. But you also have the tanks rolling around. And then once you get past the trenches, you have, like, clusters of buildings. The objectives are really well placed. I absolutely love this map on Breakthrough. Where are we going? I don't understand what's happening. Where am I? See, this is why I'm really bad at talking and showing gameplay. I feel like in the future I should have gameplay playing in the background, pre-recorded, and then just talk over it. That might be a slightly better idea. But, you know, we'll figure it out. Also, I'll put some gameplay of the maps that I'm talking about as I talk about them. But yeah, on Breakthrough, very good. It's utter chaos, but it still feels like there's a front line. It still feels like you can contribute to the overall flow of battle. On Conquest, not so good. Now, above Mirak Valley is Siege of Cairo. That's where we get to, like, middle of the road. Like, I don't hate Siege of Cairo, also don't, like, love it. It's just, like, it's a decent map, you know? I don't hate it, don't love it. There is some visibility issues on Cairo, but in my opinion it feels pretty realistic. I'm talking specifically about all the dust. Like I said, I'm going 2-8 right now. Like, I'm not going to get any kills because I'm talking, but I'm not too worried about it. The tank combat on Siege of Cairo, it's pretty alright. Cairo is mostly like a very square, a very basic map. There's not like too many, you know, diverging paths or anything, or like, there's no... It's just, it's city streets, you know? It's gonna be very square, very blocky. And for that reason, the tank combat feels a little bit limited. In how much depth there is to it. I don't know how else to put it. Because it's just a very square, very straightforward map. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just, it's how it is. And it doesn't feel quite as good as some of the others. Oh, that guy is hopping around like a crackhead. Oh my god. Oh, I'm stuck on a branch. Hi there. I don't know what just happened, man. That was pretty fun, though. And Siege of Cairo is mostly close quarters, but I don't think it flows quite as well as some of the other close quarters maps, such as like the New York maps or Iberian Offensive. But I mean, overall, Siege of Cairo isn't a bad map. It's just, you know, a little bit limited. We are losing hard right now, by the way. I don't even have anywhere to spawn. I just got to spawn on the HQ. Now, the next one above Siege of Cairo is Liberation Peak. Now, the one thing, pretty much the only thing that holds back Liberation Peak for me is the sniping. Like I said, you'll find out very quickly, I am not the biggest fan of sniping as a gameplay style. I'm not hating on people who do it, I'm just saying I don't enjoy it. And Liberation Peak is a very, very sniper-heavy map. But I still really enjoy it, just because it's very well designed. There was actually a controversy around Liberation Peak regarding the color grading. I don't know if you want to call it a controversy, but it was a, discussion about whether the color grading was good or bad. Most people seemed to hate it. There was this edit where somebody removed the color grading from the map, and, everybody said it looked way better. I'm gonna give my, maybe lukewarm take, maybe hot, I don't know how people feel about it now. I absolutely love how Liberation Peak looks, even with the color filter on it. It makes it feel cold, it makes it like, bluish, and it really helps with the mood of it. I'm one who doesn't really care too much about, the competitiveness of being able to see, as long as it's not on an extreme, like Operation Firestorm. And I think the visibility on Liberation Peak is pretty alright. Also, the terrain design is extremely interesting, and I enjoy playing on it a lot, if it wasn't for all the snipers. But if I get a game where there's not that many snipers, which does happen sometimes, I can have an absolutely incredible time on Liberation Peak. The vehicle combat is pretty good. There's, lots of terrain to hide behind as a tank. There's plenty of, flying vehicles. Super interesting gameplay. Now, on Liberation Peak, if you spawn on, I think the north side, I'll call it like the alpha side, the side that has the alpha objective. If you spawn on there, prepare to lose, because it does not have the high ground. If you get the side of the map with objective Foxtrot on it, you will have a much easier time, because that is the side that contains all the high ground, and an easy route to objective Charlie. So I will say the map is somewhat unbalanced in that sense, but, like, it would be kind of boring if both sides had high ground and it was just, like, perfectly symmetrical. I think that would be pretty boring. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad thing about the map, it's just how it is. The design of Liberation Peak is pretty fucking interesting. You have, like, these small little village areas near, Bravo and Delta, I think. And like I said, the vehicle combat is really good. The next map above Liberation Peak is actually the one I'm playing on right now. Empire State. It is one of the two New York maps. We have Empire State and Manhattan Bridge. Manhattan Bridge is the better of the two, but this map, like, I don't really have any complaints. It's a pretty basic city street map. Has a little bit of verticality. There is no vehicles in it, though, which does hold it back quite a bit. But it's like, it's so close quarters, I don't know where you could fit a vehicle. So I would say it doesn't really work that well as a conquest map, but overall, it doesn't really have any major issues. It's just like, city map, you can have some fun on it, close quarter combat. Don't really have any complaints, nothing even really to say about it. There. I'm trying to get hipfire kills because I'm doing a challenge where you have to do hipfire damage with LMGs in order to unlock the, I think it's the MK8 or something like that. I'm not a gun guy, I don't know exactly what it's called. Now, above Empire State is the other New York map, Manhattan Bridge. That map is actually incredible, in my opinion. I don't know the general consensus around that map. I have tons and tons of fun on it, though. Because it actually does have vehicles. It has tanks and helicopters. No jets, but I mean, that's not, like, really a huge deal to me. The main thing where this map shines, I think, is the objective placement. You have, like, this one objective that's on top of a building, which adds a lot of verticality to it, and it makes the flow of the combat in that map super interesting. Like, you can get a spot on there as an engineer with an RPG, and shoot down at the tanks that are attacking, like, Objective Charlie, which is, I think, the one that's in, like, the cramped building. And it's a super fun playstyle, and you can also get snipers up there and stuff, but it's also pretty easy to attack because all you have to do is go around to the back of the building and get onto the zipline thing that takes you up to the top. And the helicopter combat, I haven't done tons of it, but I've only played as a helicopter gunner while my buddy is flying on Manhattan Bridge, and it's very fun. It's really interesting because of the city environment, so you're not just like flying over an empty field. You're flying, like, between buildings and over, like, heavily populated streets. And it's really fun. And then, also, thanks to, like, the one objective that's on top of a building, a lot of the times the helicopters will fly over, and you'll have, like, combat between a helicopter and infantry. And those moments are really cool, and I like them a lot. And as for the infantry battles, it tends to be a mix between long and close range fights, which does add some variety. Sometimes you'll, be holding a long range angle at a choke point with an LMG. Other times you are, like, in the fucking meat grinder on Objective Charlie, just absolutely wrecking shit with a shotgun. The only major issue I have with Manhattan Bridge, the tank combat is not all that interesting, just because it's just a bunch of city blocks, so it tends to be very linear. There's only a couple directions you can realistically go to, and for that reason the tank combat is not the best in the game, but it's also not bad. There's still, like, several tanks in the map at any given time, and several ways to approach them. So overall, not bad. Now that was a crazy play I just did. Not crazy, but... Oh, might be in a second though. I can't see anything. Okay, stealth mode, stealth mode. Stealth mode. Oh my god, that could have gone so well if my aim was better. Now, my favorite map in the game. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I absolutely love Iberian Offensive. I played that map a ton in the beta, and I don't know what it is about it. Actually, I do know a few things. Oh, rank 34, we'd love to see it. But Iberian Offensive is actually so well designed in my opinion. Oh, so Iberian Offensive has a great mix between long and close range battles. So you have, like, one side of the map, which is like city blocks. It's the one where the domination map takes place. And that's where you have all your close range fights, and it's extremely chaotic, but also not, like, too open, so you can do some really cool, like, squad tactics, like pushing into a building and everything. And in particular, Objective Charlie on Iberian is so fun because it's this giant building that has an objective in the middle of it, and it is extremely close quarters and extremely chaotic. The most fun I've had in this game, especially in the beta, was running in that building with a pair of defibs. I actually have an entire video up on YouTube of getting kills in Battlefield 6 beta with defibs. Sadly, they nerfed them. But anyway, most of those kills took place on Objective Charlie on Iberian Offensive, because that section of the map is just so fun. But then on the other side of the map, across from the city, you have, like, this, I don't want to say open field, but like the side of the road where most of the tanks end up going. And then you have some, like, tall buildings on the side, along with, like, a field with some trees and brush and shit. That section is also super fun, especially with an LMG, because you can, like, prone in the bushes and, hold a point. And I find it really fun. And you can, like, loop around to Objective Echo. As you can tell, I really like that map. And also, that was another map where people like to discuss the color grading. Another situation where I found it to really enhance the charm of the map and help with the mood. Because the color grading on Iberian, if I remember correctly, is like, kind of like greenish and dull. Some people hated it for some reason. I actually found it really charming. And here I am getting killed by more DMRs. Like I said, we won't get any kills. I'm actually positive right now, so I don't really have much to complain about. Now, I will say the tank combat on Iberian is pretty limited because there's only one side of the map where the tanks can realistically travel. I guess two sides. You can go around the long way towards Objective Echo, or, like, the backside on Objective, like, Delta, I think it is. So that holds it back a little bit, but it's not, like, a huge deal to me. I'm not a huge, like, vehicle player. So yeah, I don't know how popular that opinion is, but Iberian Offensive is my favorite map in the game. And as you can tell, my aim is not up to par, but I am still having a blast on this game. Now, there are quite a few controversies around this game so far. I don't want to talk too much about it, but the main thing is around people who have come from Call of Duty to this game. Overall, I'd say, people need to chill out a little bit. I think Battlefield players have, like, this romanticized view of the game, which I get. They want to preserve something. But in a lot of cases, that's something that never even really existed. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not want this game to be like Call of Duty. I absolutely hate Call of Duty. I tried Black Ops 6 once and just did not find it fun. So don't think that I'm like, you know, a movement kid or anything. Like I said, defib kill, defib kill. I tried, okay. It was worth a try. That would have been really cool. The only FPS game I've played somewhat extensively was Rainbow Six, and that game is like, you know, a little bit more tactical and slow. So I'm not the kind of person that, you know, plays like I'm on Adderall and just running around jumping off walls. And I definitely don't want that to become the main gameplay type of Battlefield 6. But I will also say, just because somebody plays a certain way, doesn't mean you have to hate them for it. I hate snipers. I don't hate people who play as snipers, but I do hate encountering them. In the same way that I also hate encountering somebody who's, you know, sliding all around me, acting like a fucking crackhead. Like, I don't enjoy that playstyle, but also people can play how they want. You know, it's a game that they spent like $70 to $100 on, so I mean, if they want to play like an Adderall kid, they are, you know, totally welcome to do that. So overall, I'd say both sides of, you know, the argument have good points. And I would say I lean towards the side of the battle dads, as some people call them. But at the same time, sometimes they tend to romanticize things a little bit. I saw one tweet that said, Battlefield players eat MREs as snacks while they play Battlefield. And I think that summarizes it pretty well. Like, some people think Battlefield is a fucking milsim, when, from what I understand from people who actually played it a lot, it's more of just like a military sandbox where you can do stupid shit and have fun. So I would say just chill out, guys. It's not a big deal. It's a video game. Crazy movement tech I just did, by the way. Hey, you're stealing my revives. But I'm looking to do more Battlefield 6 content on the channel. You know, the channel's really small right now, so I think I have the flexibility to really do whatever I want with it right now. Which is why, if you were to look at my videos, it would be a mix between all kinds of games, all kinds of content types. Sometimes I just yap, sometimes I, you know, actually do gameplay, or let's plays, or whatever. But yeah, this one just was supposed to be my quick thoughts on the game. Overall, I would give it like an 8, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Really good game. I haven't really touched the campaign. I've heard it's pretty mid, and I've only played like maybe half of it, and that seems to check out. It's pretty mid, kind of boring. Storytelling is awful. But I mean, who really plays for the campaign? I guess some people do, but, you know, I'm here for the multiplayer. And the multiplayer fucking slaps. Like, I don't have that many complaints, and the complaints that I do have are things that can be easily patched in the coming weeks and months of the game being out. And even with those issues, it's not like anything game-breaking. The progression is extremely slow. I think they should find a middle ground. I don't want it to be like, you know, Call of Duty, where you can max out a weapon and get every single attachment in like a single evening of playing. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, because I understand why Call of Duty is like that, because it is a yearly release cycle, where every single year a new Call of Duty game comes out. So in that single year, if you want to max everything out, the developers have to, you know, cater to that. But this game is here to stay for a while. I don't expect there to be a new Battlefield release for, like, probably 3 years or so. So, like, we got some time. But at the same time, 3,500 kills to max out one weapon is pretty fucking ridiculous. Like, I think they just need to find a middle ground and not appeal to any one side too heavily. If they can do that, I think the progression will be fine. But I would say if you're having trouble with the progression early on in the release, I would say just maybe wait a second to try to unlock everything. because I can almost guarantee they're going to be patching that in the next few weeks or so. So if you're having trouble with the progression, just wait a second. You don't have to unlock everything and have the most perfect meta build in the first, like, 5 days of release. So just, chill for a second, wait till they patch it, and then worry about unlocking everything. Anyway, I think that just about covers it for one video. I've covered mostly the maps, which is the main thing I wanted to talk about, because that's the one thing that's probably not going to change that much. I can discuss more things in subsequent videos. If anybody's watching this, let me know what kind of things you would like to hear me discuss about how I feel about the game, especially as a new, very casual, very unskilled player. I feel like I can have a maybe slightly unbiased perspective. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.